And what else? I'm trying to think. I guess we should just get into it. There's just so much to talk about. The budget discussions that are happening in Washington, by the way, I don't blame all of the people who email me, Lewis, and say they just can't even get themselves to care about voting or what's going on in Washington because they feel so disconnected and that nobody in Washington even cares about their priorities. And, I can't disagree. This is kind of the Lewis voting syndrome. You're still not voting, right? You're still off of voting.
I'm off.
And, I mean, what can you say to people? Because the reality is the situation is not going to get better the less people vote. But at the same time, it is hard to get people engaged when they say, okay, let's look at what's going on with the budget. We have Republicans looking at the tiny picture, NPR, for example, almost nothing in terms of the national scale of funding, while there was no serious discussion about paring down the defense budget.
Right.
How can you get people...
We can't just say it's Republicans. Nobody's looking at the bigger picture.
No, that's right. I mean, when we talk about the cuts, Republicans want $60 billion in cuts, and this possible government shutdown is over. Democrats only want $30 billion in cuts. Well, you would think maybe there's just $45 billion. No, let's shut the government down because we can't. One side wants $60 billion, the other side wants $30 billion. We're talking here. I hear you when you email me and you say, why do I even care who is representing my congressional district? Both of the two parties are completely bought and sold by corporate interests. Both are focusing on tiny little changes in a context where we're not talking about healthcare in any real way, war, defense, education. We're talking about the arts. We're talking about NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I can't blame them. And, hey, I haven't been able to get Lewis on voting. Lewis produces the show, for crying out loud. I mean, what would it take for you to vote at this point, Lewis?
A candidate, the likes of which I've never seen before.
Okay. Maybe you should run. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
you should run on just run on heavy metal. That'll be your campaign.
Heavy metal?
Yeah, just in other words, funding for heavy metal, death metal, songs about burning down churches, getting your face ripped off by fire ants, all the things that your band sings about.
You know what? I don't see it getting me elected. as awesome as it is and as great as my band is.
Yeah, even at the local level.
And as great as I am.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
And if you actually talk to Republicans about where else they want to save money, not only does it not make sense because it's this, I don't even want to say, I don't know, penny wise and pound foolish because it's such an absurd phrase that I honestly feel a little nauseous when I even use it. But it's looking at the minutia when we should be looking at the big picture. Listen to some of these ideas. Amidst the nuclear crisis in Japan, Republicans are still talking about reducing regulations on nuclear power plants in the U.S. That makes sense. Southwest Airlines. We talked on the last bonus show about Southwest Airlines airplanes literally coming apart at the seams. And there's a major fight in Congress brewing with the Federal Aviation Association's reauthorization bill. Significant cuts to airline safety in the middle of this. Roll back workers' rights, by the way, of course. That's the starting point at this point. Any kind of collective bargaining or labor rights, those are going to be gone. The Senate's version of this bill, of this FAA reauthorization bill, is pretty standard, but the House bill, it is not going to be good for passengers. It's not going to be good for workers. Poor safety regulations. Why? Even Captain, what was his name? Sully. What was the guy's full name? Chesley Sullenberger, the guy who flew the Hudson. He landed the plane in the Hudson.
Yeah.
Even he says it's dangerous. And my understanding is he's a pretty conservative, libertarian guy. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. It really does not make any sense. And the main thrust of all of these deregulations and reductions in regulation is what, Lewis? Profits. Allowing big corporations to have less oversight.
To do whatever they want.
To do whatever they want. That's the bottom line. And are we really going to be able to engage more people? I mean, if Lewis, after years producing this show, the guy's not even voting, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what is going on here?
I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people like me out there, and we've gotten emails from them.
Yeah, no, the voter turnout is low. But if we can't engage the David Pakman Show producer in just going, I mean, the guy lives just a minute drive from where you vote? We can't even get the kid registered.
I'm registered.
Oh, you are now?
Yeah.
Okay. You see my point, ladies and gentlemen. I understand when people hear it's just millionaires and billionaires and lobbyists and money floating around, why would you even think your vote would change anything? But the bottom line is, if you don't vote, if everybody starts having that attitude, then we're completely giving up even more control. And I don't recommend it. But I don't know. Maybe we'll start with Lewis. Maybe that'll be the start. It'll be the catalyst that changes things finally.